Hey guys, this is Fan Confessions, the channel about two friends, two fans, and the K-Wave. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lisa.
And welcome to the place where we share our love of all things K-pop, K-drama, and our personal experiences as fans. So we're back to talk about Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, episode 4. I feel like this is an interesting episode because there's been some news that's come out recently about this drama and our main lead actor in this drama. Some of you might have heard.
It's a lot of unfortunate business. And I guess we wanted to preface this episode with a little bit of, we won't get into the details of the situation, but needless to say, like our lead actor has come off as some information's been revealed that he's not a stellar human being and not an example to live by. And we just wanted to say, like, in no way is our choice to continue to react to the drama any way in support or in favor of his behavior. In fact, we are very much against it. But me and Steph were talking and we're like, well, a drama is made up of many different parts, many different contributors. And it's like, do we take this moment to sort of like separate the artist from the art and like move forward with it with something that we've actually been very much enjoying? So
yeah, totally. And like Lisa said, there's so many people that go into a K-drama, including the beautiful lead actress, as well as some amazing writers, which we've been seeing in this show, the director, the people behind the camera. Like, there's just so many people that are involved in a drama. So for us to have invested this much time into it at this point, and the fact that we're enjoying it as much as we are, we're deciding to, separate. And also, like, even though he is a person that's maybe done something that is regrettable, like hopefully he does come back in the future and realize and try and change himself for a better person too, and that we can see a better version of this actor in the future, because it is really disappointing to hear this kind of news, because he has really started to flourish. Like, he's part of why we ended up liking the show so much. So we're going to try and be as unbiased as possible when watching this, and trying to enjoy it for what it is. And it's a moment, and they're just portraying this beautiful story to us. So we're just going to enjoy it for what it is.
Exactly. That is the plan. We hope you come along with us.
With all the housekeeping aside, let's start talking about episode 4.
Dun, dun,
I believe we're already episode 4.
I know. Already.
It's so slow and so fast at the same time.
I know. And we're entering episode 4 in a kind of a fun space.
Yes.
Haejin and Dushik are sort of like in each other's spaces all the time, and it's funny that they intro this episode with them starting their mornings in a very routine way, saying good morning to each other all the time, and then all of a sudden he's not there, and Haejin's like,
where'd he
where
go?
is he?
Yeah, like, it's interesting because we were starting all the other episodes in this whole like narration style, and it was like much more story driven and feeling like it was going somewhere, and it seems like that's gone out the window. It's not so much about that anymore.
We'll see. They might bring it back, because that is, I do enjoy that part of the intro of the episodes, the little like narration that they have.
We'll see, I guess, if they do or not. I was as well, but it's funny sometimes in dramas or just TV shows or whatever in general. There's like certain patterns we pick up on as viewers that sometimes the own people that made the show don't realize that they were doing.
So, yeah, exactly.
So it could have been one of those things. I don't know.
Like, well, I hope it was intentional. Who knows? We'll have to see. Yeah. I know, but it's I hope it's something that they bring back, reemerge, sort of like highlight certain like aspects of the story or sort of like thought processes that they're trying to get across. But this episode started off pretty well too, and like I said, a fun way. Mm-hmm. And Haejin sort of like, we get to see a little bit of her growing attachment to Dushik, and the fact that she's looking around for him, and she's pretending like she's not looking around for him, but she's looking around for him.
And she's showing off her shoes too. And
the shoes. Yes, the Cinderella shoes.
Which they are quite a bit sparkly for average day. But I guess it seems like he notices as well, right? That like, yeah. I'm sorry, people, you can see my dog playing in the background a little bit. So
a little bit of side entertainment.
Hopefully it's not a little distracting. She wants just as much attention as Heijin. Anya, no. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that'll be entertaining.
That's my adorable little furry niece, everyone.
Yes, everybody, this is Anya, my wired hair dachshund dog, who usually is very quiet and polite, but today is not happy with the current situation. Can I say hi to everybody? Okay, you can say hi to everybody.
Say hi, Anya. Hello.
You're a good girl. But anyway,
she's our little side entertainment for you all. Isn't she adorable?
Yes, she can be our mascot for our episodes.
Yes,
this is my bad. Mom moved her bed, and she's not very happy with where it is, I guess. But it's okay. All right, so back to the K-drama. So yeah, basically they keep running into each other, and then they finally miss each other in a moment. And so she starts to miss him and wonder, oh, what the heck is going on with him? And then she kind of like ends up inviting herself to something, right? Like it was like
I know exactly. You know, our girl's got it bad when she volunteers to go to a community meeting.
Exactly, because she hates those.
She hates them so much.
Yeah. So the fact that she was like, oh, is he gonna, and she's totally asking around if he was gonna be there as well.
Oh yeah.
So
that was cute. I thought that was adorable. That like, you know it's bad when.
Yeah. And then our male lead, who like our character, who just does everything, happens to also be able to sing, which we find out.
Personally, like, you know, the comment I made when we were watching this, I was like, so Dushik is a man of many talents. Maybe singing is not his best.
I was like, okay with it. My husband still loved it. My husband loves the Dushik character, and he was still compelled by him, even when he sang. Clearly, she's like pretending to sleep or whatever, be drunk.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
She's like, I'm trying to get this meeting over with as soon as possible because these people just don't know when to say goodnight.
Just like who just falls asleep in the middle of a thing with people? Anyway, she's got some funny ways about her at times that are a little socially awkward.
Yeah, just a little bit, eh?
Yeah, but the whole time she's pretending to sleep, she's really watching him at the same time. So kind of obvious and cute. And then I was like, oh, of course, this is going to set up for them to be alone together, which maybe she secretly wanted anyway. That was her plan.
It got her a little bit of a lift halfway home.
Yes, that's right. He until he realized she was faking while he was giving her.
Oh, he totally knew she was faking from the get-go.
Yeah, and then her shoe falls, and then she can't bear to lose her shoe again.
She's like,
I enjoy how he pushes her. Yeah, I like that little back and forth between them where he calls her bluff.
Yeah. So I really like the interplay, like the conversations they have, and sort of like the little cute jabs they have at each other, and the teasing and making fun of each other.
Yeah, it's like it's starting to feel more natural. And actually what I do like about this is it feels like more of a natural relationship building than a lot of K-dramas do. Like you don't get the friend part as much. I guess it's like we're not friends, like it's like still flirting and stuff, but it's more
it's
natural
like
than usual.
Yeah, it's like that start of like building that friendship foundation of a relationship. Because I know there's another drama weightlifting fairy.
Yes, that one does that good too.
That was an excellent, because they basically started off solely as friends in
Yes.
that drama,
And then
and like then developed more feelings afterwards, and that is still one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
Just because of the relationships and the character building they have there.
And it's
So
like romantic in a different way. It's not there's a lot of K-dramas get really heavily romantic quickly and they fall in love at first sight, and it's like so dramatic and so like intense, and then it's like this, it just feels natural and airy and simple and not too complicated and more of what we're probably used to in real life. So
exactly, and it's nice to see that little bit of less dramatic
yes,
relationship, a little less dramatic. But it's fun to watch. But in contrast, I noticed they were showing a little bit of the relationship between our landlady Hong Jung and her ex-husband, the town chief Young-guk. And it's funny, like this like kind of contrast between like Haejin and Joshik's relationship, and they're sort of like what they're playing in they're you're getting a little more of a little bit like, it's kind of like, it's fun seeing little bits of their relationship too, like their divorce.
Almost,
yeah, the
right?
contrasting,
well, like contrasting relationship, and then almost to each other. Like I'm trying to understand while they're watching them, like they have a child, and that they're separated or they're divorced, I guess. I don't know if they're officially divorced though. Wasn't that?
I think yeah. Yeah. It's been a few years from what I remember from previous scenes. But
right.
I think we're in the same kind of boat as like the rest of the town folk, where nobody understands why they're divorced.
Right, because they seem to sort of be getting along. Like obviously it seems like we've caught them at a point where it's been getting better. And then the kid is like the sweetest, cutest little kid ever. And
he's
so smart.
Cute.
Yeah.
He's like the cutest little button, and he's so proper, and he's so smart, and he's like things have to be in the right place and have to follow this rule. And his mom's just like, I know you like rules.
Yeah.
Mommy do this though.
Yeah. He is pretty cute and adorable. It seems like he's managed to like handle whatever they're going through in a mature way for like a little kid. So it's kind of interesting to see that. And so I don't know. When I was seeing this at the beginning of the episode, I was like, oh, we're seeing more and more of them. And so I'm like, oh, maybe we'll get to see them get back together. But then,
like you sort of were getting those little bits of feelings.
Right? It was so
like,
close.
Yeah, they're being kind of like sweet to each other and kind, and you can tell so like our landlady was feeling like, oh, maybe he's in love with me again, and she's like making him
whatever.
Yeah, she's making him all those extra side dishes because he said he missed her kimchi.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but like, and at the same time, I'm jumping a little ahead. This happens a little later, but then his first love apparently comes back to town.
Which she is like super pretty, and not to knock on this like his actual wife, but it's like I think they purposely also are trying to like have her more like dressed down and more like just like a country girl-ish, right? And this other girl is more city, which I guess maybe that's the thing that caught them. They do seem like they're a little bit from different worlds. He's part of the town hall or whatever, and he seems a little more up to
I don't know. He's trying to elevate his position, kind of thing.
Yeah, he likes to cut. Like it's almost like similar to Dushik and Heejin. He almost has Heejin's feel about him.
Well, not quite. I don't know if he's that quite totally that sophisticated.
but he wants to be. He gives me the vibe he wants to be. Like he's trying like, to be the top of
I'm the town chief. Like I'm a very important person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like he thinks he's more important anyway. And so then this girl comes in, and then she's quite lovely looking, and they seem to have a moment.
And of course, our landlady is witness to this, because of course her very caring, very thoughtful friend who runs another restaurant and a little bit of our busybody in the town, she's got to let her know guess who's back in town. You got like, yeah. So she's got to like get up in her business and like, oh, you got his first love is back. Oh my God, you got to go see her. And like, you know, there's always that one person in the group, right?
Yes. Well, I'll be interested to see if she starts to step up a little or steps back. I think it would be fun if she stepped it up a little and tried to get into his graces. I mean, although I will say this guy, they haven't put him in the most of the glowing moments. He doesn't seem like a hero per se.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't
for each other, but
yeah. But obviously, like, they were married and they had a child, so obviously he kind of blindsided her with a divorce. So right. You can tell that there's still some residual there that needs to be either rekindled or maybe put to bed, kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out between those two.
Yeah, but it makes me happy. I like having side stories that I feel at least invested in. So at first, like, I like the town and the whole vibe, but I hadn't been as much invested in other people. But now I'm starting to get a little bit more. I was like, I actually enjoyed those scenes and we're wanting to watch it. And when I'm watching a drama I'm not as connected to, I'll actually feel the urge to skip over those scenes. But with them, so
I think we all had those moments too, when we have one that we're sort of like, we want to know what happens, but we don't really care about the little side bits.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you can actually have sort of like an interest in like more than just the lead characters.
Exactly. So that's a sign that this one has been really good that way as well. So what else do we want to talk about here, Lisa? I lost my spot in my notes.
So I think we need this is a big chunk of this episode that really like, it got me, like, is the creepy dude.
Oh, yes.
The creepy new patient. Yes.
Where am I? Yes. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So our creepy dude, he's a new patient and he comes in and he's asking all these very strange questions of Jin in his first appointment. Like, oh, do you have CCTV cameras in the office, in the treatment room? And I'm like, oh, red flag, me. And she's like completely clueless. And like, this is not odd questions for you to hear from a patient. And he's just like, such creeper vibes.
Yeah, he really played it up with his weird looks, and I don't know. I was just like, but I was like, it dragged on quite a bit before we knew what was actually happening. I was like, kept waiting for it. I'm like, when's he gonna do something? When's he gonna do something?
I know. So I thought this was sort of like build up, or he was going to like attack Jin or something like that. But it turns out our poor Mi-sun gets the brunt of this like disgusting little slime balls behavior.
Yeah.
And apparently Mr. Creeper thinks it's completely all right for him to grope Mi-sun.
Yeah, it was like, I guess it's like I kept thinking in my head, I could tell that she was uncomfortable with him every time he arrived, but then I still, because they didn't show it, I didn't think it was happening yet. But it's like, I don't know, part of me is like, why didn't she say anything? And I guess she is worried about her friend and her practice and all that. And I mean, she does, I don't know what to say sometimes.
In a very very like impressive scene where Jin catches him in the act of what he's been doing to her best buddy. Jin.
It's like she does have a really good moral compass.
Oh my God. Yeah. She's like
Robin.
flying kick. Get your slimy hands off my friend, you dickhead.
Yeah, he even like threatened her too and was very forward about it and how he could do it and get her in trouble. And her morals were so strong, she didn't care.
Yeah, exactly. And like, don't you mess with my friends. I don't care what you try to do. I'm like flying kick in the face.
Yeah. So I was impressed with that too. And then of course it was like I was just waiting. I'm like, where's Jushik gonna come? And all before they're all alluding it's his day off, right? So he's out surfing or doing whatever he does on his day off.
But you
And
know, handy, like the impeccable, the adorable Grandma Gamry is there, and she's like, "Oh, something's going down."
her spidey senses are tingling, and then she sent out her call, and sure enough,
Like the Doshik signal, instead of the bat signal, there's like the Doshik
yeah,
signal.
grandma's calling.
Grandma's calling.
Get on his nose, and sure enough, he's there to save the day, which I kind of expected would happen at some point. Yeah, so it was a whole dramatic, chaotic. It was a very chaotic K-drama scene, as we're used to probably seeing in a lot of comedy drama.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
I love seeing that guy get punched in the face.
Yeah, that was very satisfying. And then it was even almost funnier after I enjoyed the scene at the jail. So she gets put into detention, I guess, for the fact of getting involved with this guy, and they don't know 100% what's going on yet.
They're trying to sort things out, and Creeper somehow gets himself a trip to the hospital instead of a jail cell.
Yeah, I guess he got knocked out enough that they had to make sure he was
a little bit of a little punch in the face does that to you. And he's like playing it up. He's milking it for all it's worth, of course. Yes. And Heijin's being like, oh. So, of course, the police are trying to sort things out, but like, come on. Dushik is in the cell. Dushik is in the cell with her for all of like 5 minutes before like the cops in the cop shop are like, oh, here, we'll get you a change of clothes, get you out of that wetsuit. And he's letting him out of the jail cell all willy-nilly. I'm like, oh, good to know connections.
Well, and then she gets so distracted, and so they figure out what's going on. They find his phone, I think, right? And that's where they find evidence that he's even worse than they thought he was.
Oh, yeah.
And then so she's technically free, but she's so distraught, and like when she sees her,
she wants him in jail. She's like, I don't care. I'm not leaving until he's in here.
Yeah, and then she's having this distraught moment with her friend because her friend comes and sees her, and they're like crying at the jail cell.
So sweet though.
And then I find it so amusing to have the guy sitting back and watching this and like trying to interpret what exactly is happening right now. It's just kind of
it's sort of like that male reaction to female emotion.
Yeah, to that level.
Yeah, that they're got that classic dumbfounded, don't know what to do with themselves while the women are crying.
Yeah, it was so it was that's where this I guess drama I would say hits, right? It does comedy well. It's slapstick but not too much that it's like almost cringy. It's good. It's done to the right level that is amusing.
And like sort of like I wanted to take a step back to and talk about like Isun's reaction to basically being assaulted. And like she's like she had a reasoning for not speaking up about it because like she doesn't want her friend's new practice to suffer. And like this guy was like sort of like a powerful guy in the town. I guess he's like the son of some wealthy business owner. And she's like, I don't want to cause trouble. And like that's such a classic reaction to most women when they're treated that way. It's like we're like conditioned to think it's okay that we can, it's like we'll just ignore it and pretend it's not happening. Yeah. But it's like her reaction afterwards is like very realistic, and that she's like just kind of embarrassed about the whole thing. And one of our police officer friends who her and him were having a bit of a little flirt with before, she's a little bit shy and embarrassed around him. She doesn't want to look at him. She doesn't want to say hi to him, but he's like, you know what? here's my number. And
Yeah.
he's like, you know, there's like, you've done nothing wrong. He's like, he's very communicating well. Like, he doesn't want her to feel embarrassed or anything, but he's like, you've done nothing wrong and you're still a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
It is. And she's started to slowly get redeemed for me at this point in time as a character. Because
you were not a big fan of her at all in the first three
and
episodes.
I'm still questioning her sometimes on where she was leading Heijin and her attitude. Like, I think it was in the beginning of the episode too, they show her like, she's like, let's go to work, and then she's like still asleep, and it's like, just give me a minute, and then she's like ready to go. And I'm like, did you not shower?
I'm sorry. Like, to be showered and like makeup done in like 30 seconds. I don't know if you're superhuman and can have magical powers that can stop time.
So try to stop my brain from judging moments like that and things like that. But yeah, so she's starting to warm up to me a little bit. I'm just not as attached. I should say it's not that I don't like her. It's just I'm not as attached to her as I usually am to the friend character of the lead actress.
Like,
she's just not as compelling to me for whatever reason.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, because while she's growing on me, she's not like my number one friend character.
Yeah, there's some hard ones to contend with out there. There's some really great comedic actresses that play the best friend role, and they do it really well. So I think it's just conditioned to a certain type of character, and so we'll see. Maybe we'll see if she can change my mind by the end of the series.
Exactly. We'll give her a chance. We'll give her a fair shake.
Yeah. And so there was, to lighten it up a little bit later on here. So we see Heijin and talking to the guy that owns the coffee shop. Forgot his name. His daughter. And
I think her.
Sorry.
Juri is his daughter's name.
Okay. Yeah, and she's like talking about, I'm assuming I'm like, there is no group by this name, right? Like they made
there is no group called DOS, okay. But like it's very much a parody of BTS in my personal opinion, because instead of Jin, there's June,
right? Or well, it could have been June from Icon.
True.
But yeah, anyway. But they're obsessing over this one member of the group,
and while they're both very like prickly personalities, they're able to bond and have a moment together of fangirling over June of DOS. It's like, I like relate.
Yeah, it was like, we're like, okay, awesome, but then it's like also relating in the sense that Heijin's the older fan, and this is the really young new fan and whatever, and then she's trying to say, hey, I like it too, and she's like, no, you don't. Like, you don't.
See, I have a picture with him.
It's like, no, you don't. And she like never believed her in the beginning, right? But then she eventually dig it out. But the fact that she felt so determined to dig it out as well, I could totally get that. I would probably be the same way. Yeah. So
as older fans ourselves, we feel that reaction to want to like justify ourselves and like, yeah, we can be fans too, damn it.
Yes, totally. So thought that moment was really cute.
It was really cute. And I think that's sort of that relationship, that little like bonding there, I think that's going to grow later on. I think there's going to be some fun with that kind of like relationship and interaction between those two.
Exactly. So I thought that was really cute. And then I also thought it was a little bit of foreshadowing, because I'm like, they're talking about this guy a lot. And then I don't know if you remember in the beginning, there was it before this happened that they were flipping through a magazine or something, and she was like, oh, my friend from school is like really well off and whatever. And then the second they had that scene, I was like, second male lead alert.
I know, exactly.
But he's not in there yet. So okay, tell me if I'm wrong though, because so there is that scene, and then there's this scene with the jury and talking about June, and I was like, are they the same person? But she didn't really make it.
No,
Didn't
no,
seem
no.
like they're two different people.
No, they are two different people because you
Okay.
may have missed a little bit. We're gonna
Okay.
go a little scene closer to the end where we had two visitors
I did see
visit the
that.
cafe.
Okay.
So, and one was our Mr. Coverman that was on the front of the magazine, and one was a guy with a
Oh,
cat pulled over his head
well, I
trying
knew
not to
one
be
was
recognized.
I knew one was June, but I thought I'm like, oh, is the same guy him? So they are two different people. Oh,
Mm.
who's their second male lead then? I was like, because I was like, oh, it's June then. But then I'm like, oh,
No, no. I think June is a little too young for
okay. Well, I
Jin.
don't know. I had thought, oh, June looks really old for a K-pop guy, but I'm like, maybe it's an old K-pop group since like
But our friend in the blazer and Mr. Front of the magazine, I think
I don't know.
the friend from college. I don't know. I think
Well, I'm being also very bad in the sense that I haven't looked at what the actors' names are or what the set like I am like a total I'm trying to be like have no idea what's gonna happen. So I don't know who the actor is. So I don't know the face. So I don't know
like
which one it is. But
I
I
know
will
who the
side.
actor is. I know who the actor is because I've seen him in a couple of different things like, from like some variety shows as well as like
Okay. Yeah, I don't even
another
know the
drama.
name. I'm bad. Okay.
I am like I can't. His name isn't sticking with me, and I
Oh,
feel
okay.
bad for that. But I have a feel. That's why like I have like because he's so recognizable. I'm thinking he might be. Who knows? We'll see how things progress in the next couple episodes.
Maybe for once we'll be surprised on who it is.
I know.
That would be refreshing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That
that would be refreshing. Us not
would
knowing
be
ahead,
it'd
figuring it
be
out
like
ahead of time.
a twist to turn, right? Because I feel like these are so formulaic these days, at least for you if you watch more than one of them, that you
Mm.
know it's going to happen and then you're trying to pinpoint who it is and then you're usually like, well, who's the more popular or famous actor, right? And then you go that way
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
assume. But I don't know. Maybe it's interesting because it's interesting they brought June in as much as they did with this other guy. That's what's the
Yeah, it's
confusing
like
part
how
about
are they gonna like how's that working out with the whole like why are they in this little town where everybody else is? Like how like what's the coincidence of them like popping up exactly there?
it. Or does Dushik have to be the ultimate male lead and beat out two guys? Because of
Ooh.
course she would have a crush on the hot K-pop star, but then also like her other friend connection and who is probably also Arby is just as handsome as well.
Yes, exactly. And somebody who she has history with, possibly, if they're friends from school. So I don't know that
That
he
K-drama
like
life.
Dushik is a pretty strong contender though. Like this character is like pretty point. Like he's got like high scores so far.
He
He'd be
is,
pretty hard to beat.
but depending on, we don't know enough about the other history, I guess, is the question.
True. But this sort of like leads us into like near the end of this episode
Hmm.
where Heejin feeling very grateful for Dushik for stepping in and helping with the creeper in the office.
Right.
Um, drops off a little bit of a gift. And of course, one of those gifts is like a really lovely bottle of wine that she apparently digs a whole lot
Mm-hmm.
because she's having that moment. No, it's a gift, but I really want it. Oh, it's a gift, but I really want it. And Dushik comes in a very good time and they end up sharing a bottle of wine together at his place and we get our first little like good look at the inside of Dushik's house and like his sort of like personality traits that are like you can pick up from all the things that he has in his house.
And the
And
man can do a charcuterie board. Where
God,
did that come from? I was like, is this just like put out there as lady bait for all women in their late 20s, early 30s? Because this is building our dream man.
he
Like,
reads, he makes candles, he does a good charcuterie board.
he knows how to drink wine, which apparently she does not know how to. She tries to show him, and I enjoyed that moment a lot.
I know, like the gurgling and the choking.
Yeah, which my husband enjoyed this line so much that he quoted it when we were out for food the next day. I was eating Korean stew and told me not to do what she did in the drama.
No slurping.
No, because I was talking about how hot it is. It's hard to eat. But yes, so it's just that whole part was really cute and charming. And I enjoyed again, I'll talk about how I love how this couple feels it feels like a mature relationship too.
Mm.
There's usually a lot of scenes like with drinking and K-drama couples, and it's like usually one of them is like out and is like miserable and just like drinking their face off because of something, and then there's like some bonding that way. But this is like them actually choosing to sit down together and to share a drink and not go too crazy, but enough that they're like losing their like walls a little.
Yeah, exactly. They're putting, like, especially Heijin, who's like queen of guard.
Yes, she was really cute in this scene in
And
terms of
like,
her like letting go.
yeah. And it's funny, like she said, like there's something she said that really like I personally really related to, in that she's like, I don't get drunk because I don't like being out of, like, not having control.
Yeah.
And like, dude, sister, fist pump.
Only when you're in good company with other people is it okay,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
I get to see the crazy Lisa.
Yeah, you get to see like crazy Lisa.
Doesn't come out that often. It takes a lot. But yes, I thought that was a good line too. Well, again, this just shows how well written and staged this whole show is. It's got some like really good moments in it. They'll probably like stick with me for a while too, in terms of like impressions and things like that. So yeah, I applaud the writers of this show. I love it.
I know A+, because this, like, the interactions between them are so realistic and so like you said, like layers of friendship and flirtation, and they're sort of like they both like hate, like Dusha as a character comes off as very outgoing and very like everybody knows everything about him, but I think he's got layers too.
Well, he let her talk. Did you see that actually?
Yeah.
For him to be like, that's where I'm like, this is where the maturity comes in and why it's so attractive, probably for us to watch, is because he's outgoing and he helps her grow and challenges her and stuff.
And I think she's doing a little bit, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, I think she's doing a little bit of that for him too, because in him seeing her layers or her walls come down a bit, like I think he's gonna do the same, because like his art is quite so obvious, but I think he's got his own guards and his own like armor that he has up.
Yeah, now that you say that, it's feeling like the last drama, the Nevertheless, where I'm like, I need to know more about him.
No more. Give us backstory, please.
It's all, I want to say it's always about the girl, but when they do it about the guy, it's always some major traumatic event in his life and less about, I don't know, the women get much more of a different storylines for their backstories, and the guys are like almost like these cookie cutter, I don't know, I'm picturing all the dramas I've been watching in the back of my head with the male leads and the stories, and I don't know, they're all kind of similar. So I don't know, I'm still very curious about, I think we find out that it is in fact that grandma is not his grandma, right? And his parents have been gone since he was little.
Yes, he did let her in on that little bit. And especially when she saw the picture of him and his grandfather, she's like, oh, that's the same one I saw at the photo studio. Is that your grand? And he's like, yeah, that's my grandfather. My parents passed away when I was young and he raised me. And then when he passed away, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if he, like, how far, I can't remember how far into detail he went about his grandfather, but she does find out that he too lost his parents at a young age, just like she did.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a mutual understanding there.
Yeah. So like kind of left on a note that we're like, oh, it feels like it's going somewhere good.
Yes, definitely. I think so too.
And then I guess like we kind of jumped ahead earlier, but the final scene was pretty much the reveal of the fact that the two guys are there. And then now we're like, dun dun dun, who's the second male lead?
Dun dun dun.
I don't know. I don't know what to say now. Now that we talked about it, I really don't know.
I think my money is on the older friend from college. That's my money. I have a feeling it's gonna be him.
I don't know why I keep leaning towards the K-pop guy just because they talked about him so much. I'm like, why would they talk about him so much?
It would be fun. That would be fun. The whole younger man thing going on.
It's happened before.
It has happened before, and some pretty stellar stories about.
Hopefully, this isn't some weird dream of mine that I'm living out vicariously or anything like that. Just kidding. I'm not.
Yeah, we TMI. We might be revealing too much information.
No, I'm just kidding. I love my husband, and my husband is the real douchebag, and that's okay. And he is a good man, so all is good there.
Okay, you don't need anybody else.
No. So that's the end of our discussion on episode 4. I think we got a lot to look forward to in the next episode. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to episode 5 through 16.
Yes. Well, did I just say I am like excited for the same episode we just talked about? It's Monday evening here, folks.
But, so good thing we have good feelings about things to come, and things are story-wise, things are looking pretty promising for our characters. So,
but there's got to be a turn in there somewhere. There's gonna be a female lead. There's gonna be some questioning of feelings. Something's got to break the paradise moment. We've got a lot of episodes to go yet.
Exactly, and I think we're gonna get some personal secrets are gonna be revealed, and we're gonna learn so much more about these people, and there better be some hella backstory.
Okay, so what's your prediction for next episode? So you're gonna put your money on College Friend as the second?
I'm putting my money down on College Friend as the second male lead.
Okay, I'm gonna stay in the June camp for the sake of let's see what happens here.
Exactly. Just for the sake of let's throw some like interesting stuff in there.
I honestly think it will happen though. It could happen. So I'm not saying
definitely.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. And in terms of like sort of like some of our side characters, I don't know. I'm hoping to see a little more of our landlady and town chief story to see what really went down and got them
for her. I want her to get her man back.
Well, if not, at least get some closure, because like dude apparently blindsided her. So
this is true. I say that and I'm like, but he's not really the best prize. But if it makes her happy and it makes the kid happy and they're happy, then that's what I want.
Exactly.
Right?
If they're happy together, then all for the win.
Yes.
But it'd be interesting to see a little bit more about like how things went down before we met them, right?
Yeah, I would love to see a flashback actually.
Yes.
That'd be cute. All right. So we've got lots to look forward to. So let us know which camp you are in. Who's going to be the second male lead?
College Friend? Yeah. Idol.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you want it to be? Maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what I'm projecting more than I am putting my my detective hat on. But we'll see. We will see.
Exactly. So, and as always, thank you all for joining us and watching with us. We would love to hear what you think of the drama, and like before, give us your prediction of who possibly might be the second male lead. Like, subscribe, let us know. That really helps us a lot to understand what you guys are into, and just gives us a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a happy like heart. Oh, thanks, people like us.
Huh. Yes, we love seeing that, and every little bit helps. And so I hope you enjoyed watching our episode today. So we'll talk to you next week. See ya. Bye.